Hi, my name is Jamal Lamont, and today I'm going to talk about how I quit my job to become a singer. And it backfired. Let's talk about it. JamalLamont. So, the past year, I have been traveling as a seafarer performer that is a cruise ship performer. And needless to say, I got there by journey. So I have been living in LA for 9 years, going on 10 years now. And I worked in corporate. I worked for an insurance company for 8 years. Now, this particular year, I believe it's 2022, I was presented with the opportunity to audition for one particular cruise line with a group of people, and we got in, we signed the contract, the dates changed, signed another contract, and I thought everything was good to go. Mind you, I've had other opportunities in my industry to leave my company, to leave corporate world, but honestly, the money didn't make sense. I live a particular lifestyle where I need my bills covered, and I do have a certain standard of living. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Now, I'm not above, reducing my standards at times, but I know how I like to live, so I wasn't just gonna leave my job for any old job. But this particular contract was going to allow for me to not only save, but to experience the world a bit, or at least to see the Caribbean, which are what most cruises from the States show, is like Caribbean tours. So I first I resigned from my job. I put in a notice. I put in a month's notice because I was a supervisor at the time. I wanted to give my boss and my employee the opportunity to find somebody and to get adjusted with them. And with the position I held, I had a lot of random knowledge about the company and where things were. And I also assisted with other parts of the company in different parts of the states. So I want to give my company time. So I resigned. Also, coincidentally, at the same time, my apartment company was giving me issues. I had a really bad mold problem. So I moved out of my apartment in preparation to join the contract. Now, this is where it backfired. The contract got canceled. Maybe a few weeks after I had resigned, my boss, she had sent the email to the entire company saying how proud she was of me, stating my journey within the company, saying how good of an employee I was. And I get an email one Friday morning, I'm working from home, and I get an email just saying that the contract was canceled. And then I get an email from my agent confirming that. So I didn't know what to do. I waited a bit to see if there was anything else that could be done with the particular company I signed the contract with. I was seeking out to get a different position, or maybe if I could join another band, I was open to it, but they didn't have anything. Mind you, I resigned from my job, so I had a little bit of savings. LA is expensive, so I always kept a few hustles, but my main gig at the time was my 9 to 5, my corporate job. So maybe a week later, I had no choice but to go to my boss and let her know, hey, my contract got pulled, it got ripped up, however way you want to say it, it got terminated. And, my boss, being the wonderful woman she is, shout out to Barbara, by the way. She's such an amazing person. She was able to get me to continue working until the end of the year. Mind you, I have resigned the end of October. So November, December, I was planning to be gone. And she was able to extend my employment to the end of the year once again. And, she had asked me if I wanted to stay. To be honest, I was low-key embarrassed. I was low-key embarrassed because I'm not the type of person to be embarrassed or be ashamed of too much of things, but I was willing to finish out the year. And then, a lot of my colleagues were asking me, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? So I just told everybody, I have some things, other things lined up. Mind you, I'm not much of a liar. I don't lie. I'm a pretty daggone honest person. But I didn't have anything lined up. I didn't have a single thing lined up. All I knew was, okay, maybe this is God's timing for me to leave the company. I had been wanting to leave the company anyways, even though I was happy there. Or I should say, the company treated me well. I worked there for a number of years. I didn't expect to work there as long as I had been. But it was secure. It was close to where I lived. It was a decent commute. I had great benefits. I had a great 401k. And I had a great work environment. And also, I was trusted by my colleagues and my supervisor and the execs. I was trusted. I was solid in my company. But I moved to LA to be a performer, to continue pursuing my career as a songwriter, as a performer. And I always felt like working for this company, just little bit day by day, was taking my soul away. And even though I did well in my company, for me it wasn't a hard job. I knew how to be organized and I knew how to supervise. It just wasn't what I was going to LA to do. So I took this moment, and with the savings I had, I left. I allowed myself to go. I took time and I did Uber. And I took my savings and I got some dance classes. I really worked on my fitness. I got my body tight. I've always been into health and wellness, but I really took this time to do like 2-a-days and hike and catch up with friends and work on some projects. And I probably could have done a little bit better with my money, but I feel like I utilized the time wisely. Mind you, I'm still unemployed. I'm still unemployed. So I auditioned for Carnival, and it was somewhat of a process, but as soon as I turned everything in that needed to be turned in, I got a call back a week later, and they had 2 different ships they wanted me to join. I had the choice to choose one. I chose one. They gave me the other. No big deal. And in June of 2023, I was off to Carnival Studios to rehearse. And then a month after that, I started cruising. So that is my simple story, simple kind of crazy story as to how I became a full-time musician, a Seafarer performer. It has been a great journey. It has most certainly been a challenge, but it has allowed me to grow as a performer, grow as a person, to see a bit of the Caribbean islands that I haven't seen before, to meet people from not just all over the country, because there are a lot of guests who cruise with us, but I met crew members from all over the world and have learned so much about people from different countries, learned about different customs. I would like to think that I'm a pretty open and cultured guy, but I have definitely learned more things, and it's been an amazing experience because the people that I didn't think would take me in on the ship took me in, made me comfortable, made me almost like family on the ship. So it has been an insane journey the last year and a half, but it's one that I don't regret. And it's one I'm still learning from. I'm still learning how to be a completely freelance, full-time artist, entertainer. It has its challenging days, but I am grateful to God that I have this opportunity to really focus in on what I feel like I'm on this earth to do, and that is to be a performer. So that's my story on how I got into joining cruise ships and just being a freelance performer. Yeah, if you have any questions about this, I am all mouth. So just ask away in the comments. Also, if you like what you have seen, feel free to like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Jamal Lamont. Peace and be blessed. JamalLamont